about the thing called evolution. So this is the chapter 7 in second year biology textbook. So you can see this is the chimpanzee and this is the skull of chimpanzee. So man is very close relative of the chimpanzee. That is going to tell you in this. So we have evolution. In this chapter we are coordinating the evolution of earth and universe. At the same time we are coordinating the evolution of life forms, how we got evolved, what are our ancestors, from what we got evolved. So let's discuss, and these are the subtopics we have: origin of life, evolution of life forms, a theory, how the life forms got evolved. So from fossils, adaptive radiation, and we have the convergent evolution, divergent evolution, which is homologous, analogous, like that. Evidences of evolution, mainly embryological evidences. We have fossils as evidences. We have periods as evidence. What is adaptive radiation? And biological evolution. Mechanism of evolution. Hardy-Weinberg principle, mainly very important. P plus Q is equal to 1 for allele, or P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is equal to 1. A brief account of evolution and origin and evolution of man. So like Australopithecus, Ramapithecus, Dryopithecus. And let's talk about here evolutionary biology. So it's none other than the history of life forms. You're going to tell how the life forms got originated on earth. History of life forms on earth. So the earth is formed 4.5 billion years ago, but the universe is formed 20 billion years ago. And on the earth the life is formed 4.5 billion years ago. 4.5 billion years ago the earth is formed, and 4 billion years ago the life is formed. And the first non-cellular is formed like 3 billion years ago, non-cellular life forms. And the first cellular life forms is formed 2 billion years ago. So let's talk about this. Evolutionary biology is nothing but the study of history of life forms on earth. What exactly is evolution? To understand the changes in flora and fauna. Flora means plants and fauna means animals. Why do they got adapted to this environment? And what are the changes that takes place? Why dinosaurs are extinct? Why stellar cows are extinct? Dodo bird is extinct. Tasmanian tiger is extinct. If you could name certain things, they are extinct. So let's talk about those things, and why some of the species are continued from here, and what is the connecting link between one phylum to another phylum. So we will talk about certain connecting links as well. Limulus, which is a connecting link. So in Arthropoda we have that limulus. And let's talk about the other things regarding the connecting links and how they got evolved into different organisms based on the environment, based on the eating habit, based on the climatic catastrophics. So let's talk about this. Occurs over millions of years ago. We must understand of first thing is origin of life. So before origin of life, it has to origin on earth, right? It's how earth is originated. If you understand about earth, you have to understand about galaxy. So if you want to understand about galaxy, you have to understand about universe. So right, so all these things we are going to see one after the other. You have to understand about the stars, planets, indeed about the universe itself totally. As we follow the longest and all constructed and conjectory stories, so we don't have a very true evidence, but we all believe it to be these are like true, because we don't know what has happened, but we believe it that this may be happened because the most acceptable things. If you take the biological classification, so some like two kingdom classification has been followed by many years, but finally they believe that doesn't account for any relatability between the species. But later 5 kingdom classification and the present 6 kingdom classification, they are believed to be more relatable to the present scenarios. So that's how they become the widely accepted and the most successful classifications. Likewise, these are the constructed and conjectory stories which was believed to be true. Let's see how all these stories are framed, how some things have more drawbacks, how some things have less drawbacks, all this stuff. This is the story of origin of life. and evolution of life or biodiversity. Once life got evolved, but you have different forms of life. You have cats, you have dogs, you have cows, you have humans, you have birds, you have fishes, you have amphibians. How these things got evolved? Let's check. Planet Earth is a context of evolution of Earth. Planet of Earth, in the context of evolution of Earth, even Earth is also evolved, So very early Earth, they don't have oxygen. Later on Earth, they have oxygen. Very early Earth, they don't have water. Later they had water. Very early Earth, they don't have ammonia and methane gases. Now they have ammonia and methane gases, right? So we have, even the Earth got evolved against the background of evolution of universe itself. So how the universe is getting evolved, like this Earth is also evolving. So in the evolving of Earth, life is also started and life is also evolving, right? And next, origin of life. So coming to the origin of life, so first thing is origin of life. Next we talk about origin of life, how life got originated. Before knowing origin of life, we have to know origin of Earth, origin of universe. So origin of Earth, origin of galaxy, origin of universe. So let's talk life. Life is present on Earth, right? Earth is present on galaxy, so which is a solar Milky Way, and galaxy is present in universe, right? This all together, the Earth, how the Earth is formed, galaxy is formed, universe is formed, is explained by Big Bang theory. And let's see, we are looking on a clear sky. We are in a way looking back in time. Why? Because the stellar distance are always measured with light years. So if we see today, that means the object who emitted light started its journey from millions of years back. So from trillions of kilometers, millions of years back, from trillions of kilometers away. So reaching our eye now we can able to see means, so because the journey of light is already started actually, right? The journey of light already started there, but when it reach our ears, when it reach our eyes, it take millions of light years, millions of years, and at the same time trillions of distance. So that's why means the light journey already started. What we are seeing is the past. So however, what we see objects in our surroundings is, we see them instantly. For example, if you see anything in and around your surroundings, that means you are seeing the past, right? So when we see objects in our immediate surroundings, we are seeing instantly at the time itself. But when you see any object from longer distance, means you are peeking into the past. So hence in the present time. Therefore, we see the stars, we are apparently peeping into the past. The origin of life is considered as unique event in the history of universe, right? Nowhere on the planet you can find the life except on Earth. So this is a unique event or not? The universe is vast. So the relatively speaking, the Earth itself is almost only a speck, one small speck in the universe, because the universe is very old, which is around 20 billion years ago. We already know this. So 20 billion of years ago, the universe is formed. You have to remember this one thing I'll tell you. Universe. Here itself, I'm telling you priorly. Universe. Remember 20 billion years ago, BYA. And Earth. 4.5 billion years ago. And life. 4 billion years ago. The difference is 500 million years ago. And next, after 500 million years, the life is formed. And next thing is, we have to know about non-cellular life forms. Non-cellular life forms. You have 3 billion years ago. And cellular life forms. $2 billion years ago. So you can remember it as decreasing order. So huge clusters of galaxies will be there in the universe. Like the solar system, you have many different solar systems will be there in the universe. So comprises the universe, In the universe, we have the galaxies. The galaxies contain stars, cloud of gas and dust. That. So coming to the considering the size of universe, the Earth is indeed a speck. Yes, the Big Bang theory attempts to explain the origin of universe, means how the universe got originated. It talks about a very singular explosion. Assume that the universe has a very singular explosion. Imagine in physical terms, the universe expanded. So the explosion leads to expansion when it comes to the universe. First, initially, they had explosion, and next, they had expansion. So, hence, the temperature came down. So, cooling takes place. Explosion, expansion, and cooling. Hydrogen and helium formed sometimes later. So, from all this, hydrogen and helium was formed. The gases condensed under gravitation formed the galaxies of the present day universe. So, the gases, they both condensed. Why they are condensed? Because of gravitation, they condensed. And they formed into galaxies of the present day universe. In solar system of the Milky Way galaxy, what is our galaxy is present is Milky Way galaxy, and the solar system is one of the thing. So Earth has no atmosphere. In early Earth has no atmosphere, means no gases, no like air, nothing is there. Water vapor. So you have to remember the list. You have CH4, methane, NH3, ammonia, and water vapor, H2O, and we have this carbon dioxide. These are the things are present on because of from the molten lava. Water vapor, yeah, methane, yes, we covered, carbon dioxide and ammonia. The release, these are the things will released from molten lava. So what happens with the UV rays? UV rays will be acting on this. So UV rays from the sun broke up the water into hydrogen and oxygen, H2 and O2. The lighter hydrogen was very lighter and escaped. But oxygen, this now got combined with ammonia and methane. To form water, carbon dioxide and other. So it combined hydrogen and methane. Again it formed carbon dioxide and water. Right? So and others. The ozone was formed from, again the O3 is also formed. As it cooled down, the water vapor fell as rain. So now if it is cooled down, this water vapor is fell down as rain. Right? And fill all the depressions of the ocean. So this is how the earth is formed. The life appeared 500 million years after the formation of earth. So that means it took 4 billion years from date. So almost 4 billion years back, because we told it was earth was formed 4.5 billion years ago. Early earth has no atmosphere. Later from the volcano we had gases like carbon dioxide, methane, CO2 and H2O. The H2O is acted by UV radiation of the sun, and H2 is escaped. O2 is combined with CH4 and NH3 and formed the H2O and carbon dioxide. When the earth is cooling down, the water vapor is been formed as water and filled the depressions of the earth, and later on the life is formed. Like it took 500 million years to form the life on earth, almost, which is 4 billion years ago. Did life come from upper space? Some scientists believe that they came from outside, which means early Greek thinkers thought the unit of life called spores. We call this theory as panspermia. They transferred into different planets and including the earth. We call this as panspermia. And still the favorite idea for some astronomers, I don't know why they believing this. They thought like life coming from the space, and that space was dispersing the spores on all the other planets including the earth. That's how the life got started. So as long time it is also believed that life came from the decaying and rotting matter like straw, mud, etc. So this was, we call it as spontaneous theory of spontaneous generation. But Louis Pasteur is the one who disagreed this by an experiment. Louis Pasteur carefully demonstrated an experiment that life come from only from pre-existing life. While the another flask, he has taken two flasks. One is pre-sterilized flask. He saw that life doesn't come from the killed yeast. He has taken two flasks. So Louis Pasteur, he taken two flasks. Flask 1 is pre-sterilized and flask 2, it is open flask, right? So the life was not came from pre-sterilized flask because it contains of killed yeast. So the spontaneous and another flask which is open to air, new living organisms arise from the killed yeast. So which means spontaneous generation theory was dismissed by Louis Pasteur. So this does not answer how the life first come from Earth. So we have seen the two theories here. One is spontaneous theory and other one is panspermia or cosmic theory of life. So let's see the other things which disproved all these theories. So Oparin of Russia and Haldane of England propose that first form of life could have come from pre-existing, that two non-living organic molecules such as RNA, proteins. They told life came from pre-existing non-living organic molecules. But the formation of life was preceded, we call this as chemical evolution. Formation of diverse organic molecules from inorganic constituents. They told these organic molecules also came from inorganic things. So this condition of Earth was high temperature and volcanic storms, reducing high temperature volcanic storms, reducing atmosphere, containing CH4, NH3, etc. So because of that, life is not originated by that condition. So hence in 1953, this year is very important, 1953, S.L. Miller, they have conducted one experiment. An American scientist created a similar conditions in the lab. Scale containing, he created the electric discharge in closed flask. So he included the gases such as CH4, NH3, H2O, H2. So except he didn't take any carbon dioxide here. And at 800 degrees Celsius, he observed that the formation of amino acids from this. In similar experiment also he conducted, he observed the sugars, pigments, fats, nitrogenous base and fats. So even they analyzed the meteorite content also, and they revealed that similar products, similar compounds indicating the similar process are occurring elsewhere in space. Similar compounds are indicating that similar processes are also occurring in other with this limited evidence, the first part of conjectory story, that is chemical evidence, is more or less accepted. What the story of chemical evidence stated, that chemical evolution stated that life has originated from pre-existing non-living organic molecules. So the similar thing was being conducted by an experiment by Miller in 1953. So he has taken a closed flask. Let me show you that experiment. He has taken a flask in which you can see here, this is a vacuum pipe. So nothing we are making to enter into that. That's why they have created a vacuum, because other than this no other gases has to enter. And now they have taken the list of gases like methane, ammonia, hydrogen means water, and H2. So they have given an electrical shock to this through electrodes, which is 800 degrees Celsius. Now the spark is discharged. Now the gases, whatever after this, we have to cool down these gases by using the condenser. So whatever the water that is coming, so water is water in and water out, means this is a condenser, right? We are cooling down with water. Now the water droplets are connected here. So after collecting the water droplets, the water containing the organic compounds such as amino acids, pigments, nitrogenous bases, and they had the lipids. and here we have the boiling water. So now the boiling water is sending the temperature, sending the water vapor continuously. So the liquid water is trapped now here. So in this water they will absorb. So this is the way, and water vapor is been created here. So this is first we are going to see the point, right? The first non-cellular forms of life is originated 3 billion years ago. They would have been giant molecule like RNA, protein, polysaccharides, etc. So these capsules produced their molecules. Perhaps the first cellular life form did not possibly originate about 200 million years ago, which means so the first cellular form of life is originated from 2 billion years ago. There was probably single cells. All life forms were in water environment only. Their version is of biogenesis, that is the first form of life arose solely through evolutionary forces from non-living molecules, is accepted by majority, because with those molecules only we are made up of various sugars, various amino acids, proteins, nitrogenous bases, lipids, pigments. However, once formed, how the first cellular forms of life could be evolved into complex biodiversity of today is a fascinating story that will be discussed below. Right. Now we are going to see how. So in this chapter you have seen already regarding panspermia, theory of panspermia, which was Greek thinkers and widely accepted by astronomers. The idea liked by astronomers. Next is spontaneous, so that is panspermia, that is not accepted. Next, spontaneous evolution from straw and mud, that is not accepted by Louis Pasteur after conducting an experiment. Later, Oparin from Russia and Haldane from England, so they gave an idea that life originated from the non-living organic compounds, which is now at present widely accepted because of the experiment conducted by Miller. So this is the Miller experiment. So let's talk about evolution of life forms, a theory. Conventional religious literatures tells us the theory of special creation. What the special creation tells us? The life got created by God. So God created life in 6 days. On the 6th day, man was created. And we have been formed as like that. There is no variation, there is no mutation or nothing. So this theory was not accepted. This theory was 3 connotations. One is all the living forms what we see today were created as such at a time. They are not evolved. So that is very one important point. 2, their diversity was always same since creation. There will be same in future also. Means there will be no any change. And 3, the earth is about 4,000 years ago. Do you believe that earth is 4,000 years ago? No, the earth is 4.5 billion years ago. So they told it was 4,000 years ago. That was wrong. All these ideas were strongly challenged during the 19th century by HMS, based on the observation during the sea voyage in the sail ship called HMS Beagle around the world. So Charles Darwin concluded the existing of life forms share similarities to varying degree, not only among themselves, but also with the life forms that existed millions of years ago. Not only at present now, we share the similarities millions of years ago. Many such life forms do not exist anymore. There are certain life forms which they showed similarity, but they are not present. There have been extinction of different life forms in the years ago. Just now, the new life forms arose in different periods of history of Earth. This has been gradual evolution of life forms. Any population has built variation in the characteristics. Those characteristics which enable some of them to survive better in natural conditions. Some of them will have a variation. So that variation people will survive better, like climate, food, physical factors, etc. Would outbreed others less than endowed to survive. Would outbreed others. So on such natural conditions. So another word we call it as fitness of the individual in the population. The fitness according to Darwin refers to ultimately and only we call it as reproductive fitness. Hence those who are better fit in the environment leave more progeny than other. These therefore will survive more, hence are selective by nature. So whoever reproductively fit, they'll survive more. Who are reproductively less fit, they cannot survive, because who are reproductively fit more, they will produce more progenies for the future. So that more progenies, some are very fittest to survive, some may not be fittest, but the number of progenies are more, right? So chances are more. He called it as natural selection and implied it as a mechanism of evolution. Let us remember also about Alfred Wallace, a naturalist. So Charles Darwin and Alfred Wallace. So he worked on Malay archipelago. So let's talk about what is archipelago. So archipelago is none other than group of islands, so which is formed by volcanic eruptions present inside the sea. So Malay archipelago are the group of islands of Malaysia and Indonesia. So Alfred Wallace studied about the Malay archipelago, and he had also had a similar conclusions around the same time by Charles Darwin. So because Charles Darwin in Galapagos Island, in due to the course of time, apparently the new type of organisms are recognizable. All the existing life forms share similarities and some common ancestors also. So however, these ancestors were present at different periods in the history of Earth. So let's talk about epochs, periods and eras. Okay.